JF. Add more flavor.
Hello, Eswatini. Welcome back to JF Podcast. It's Ketsiwe Ndlovu, your Relationship Thursday host. This is the face to the voice. Welcome back to the show, and would like to welcome you to our 10th episode. We're celebrating our 10th episodes this week on Relationship Thursday, Motivational Wednesday, and Spiritual Monday. So today I'll simply go over and share with you my experiences on the show, how I've grown with the show, and a few lessons that I've picked from the guests that we've had on the show. The first, in no particular order, the first interview that I would like to highlight on is the session I had with the Dlaminis, Mr. Dlamini, our pre-Father's Day session. Mr. Dlamini, who is producer Slaughter's father. So I'll go over that session. What touched me most with that interview was when Mr. Dlamini said he will sometimes send Slaughter a message simply saying, "I love you, son." For me, that was something that touched my heart greatly, because normally men they do not do that. They don't send each other these sweet messages of "I love you" and so forth. Men don't believe in, be soft. They want to be tough. They want to, is funny, So for me, that was beautiful. And I think that men need to do that more, because then you have, society dictates that a man needs to toughen up. A man cannot express how they feel. They need to bottle up their feelings. They need to be a man. They need to take on the world hard and everything. Yet we're living in a society where life is becoming tougher and people are facing problems. They're getting depressed and so forth. So when they're used to the dictation that you need to bottle up your feelings, be a man and be tough, don't cry, don't express your feelings, we are getting more suicides. We're getting more depressed people. We're getting more people who are irresponsible or abusing alcohol and drugs more. So for me, that melted my heart, because it's a simple meltdown to everything else that could possibly happen that is negative in somebody's life, in particular Slaughter's life, So that "I love you" from a father to a son, from a man to a man, for me, that was great. That was just one of the beautiful things that I picked from that session without shedding a tear. And moving on to another session that touched my heart was a session of honesty, where we had a 3-part series about parenting, the conception or the genesis of unconditional love. We had in the studio a couple that have been together for years, Mr. and Mrs. Sithole. They spoke about teamwork, and they did not only speak about teamwork, but you could see that they actually are a team, I'm in studio. I was interviewing them, so I could see what was going on. And the way Mr. Sithole was in control of the session, he was flowing. And Mrs. Sithole, on the other hand, was a bit shy. But the way he handled her, the way he would say, "Okay, it's your turn, you can answer this question." It was so beautiful to see that he's giving her the chance to take over, and she's receptive, and then she's more confident when she does that. So for me, it really showed that they're not only saying things and not putting in action, but they really are talking about something that they practice every day, which is teamwork, and teamwork that has a foundation from God. So for me, that was a session that said, you don't just, you practice what you preach. You don't just preach, you practice what you preach. A third session that enlightened me was, I think, the first session that I hosted. It was about couples, married couples. Thandeka Dlamini was in the studio, and she spoke about marriage. She spoke about marriage, that like how do we keep the flame alive? How do we keep things going? How do we renew this love thing every day? If you are in a setup, in a union that is supposed to be a union for life. So she spoke about something very small and which sounded very silly, but it meant so much and it actually made sense. She said, go back to the basics. She said, do the simple things. Do the little things that you used to do before. She says her husband likes lunch bar. Her husband likes those peanuts that you get at the till at Spar or Pick n Pay. So whenever she does her shopping, she's going to get that for her husband. Now, we will think like, how do I keep the flame alive? I need to buy him a bottle of perfume. You're not always going to be able to do those things that cost so much money, or take him out for a massage, or for, but she said it's little things. It could be a lollipop. So that was a very enlightening moment for me, that we don't have to complicate life. Life in its simplicity can be beautiful. You need to embrace it, and you just need to know your person. And it just shows that I still remember you. And that's when we fell in love, and you revisit that place, and the love continues. The love starts over and continues. Moving on to another session that I would say I grew in, was my own session where I felt comfortable for the first time speaking about my position as a single mother. This was the first time I spoke publicly about me being a single mother. I've never spoken about it on social media. I'm very active on social media, but I've never spoken about it. I've only just spoken about how happy I am with my daughter, how God has loved me and entrusted me with this beautiful soul, and how happy I am with her. I've never spoken about what I've gone through from the moment I was pregnant and I was a single mother. I was on my own and I went through certain challenges. So that day, I was just given the mic and I flowed. I spoke comfortably and confidently about my story for the very first time. So for me, it was for the very first time I shared my story with JF. And that was a moment of growth for me, and accepting that this is a setup that I'm in, and embracing it and saying, well, I'm not going to be bitter about it. I'm going to be positive about it. I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to do the most that I can. And especially, I'm going to love my child. I'm going to respect my child, and I'm not going to let how I have felt pressurize me or hurt me even more. So that was a moment of growth for me on JF. We've had siblings on the show. We've had interesting siblings on the show. We've had the Bembe siblings, and wow. I'll say it even now, they were a fun pack to have in the studio. They taught us. I on the show, I made an example about me and my siblings. I've got two brothers. I'm the only girl, and we have what I would call a straightforward, simple relationship. We love each other, but we don't communicate much. We don't, it's like, oh, you live your life, I'm living my life. We're good, right? We're great. But they reminded me that you're siblings, you love each other, you come from the same womb, you need to talk to each other. You need to love each other. You need to respect each other. Check on each other. And, gift each other sometimes. How are you doing? Create a chat group. Keep it connected, because those are the people that you come from and they come from you. Those are the people who are you in a way. So for me, that was also a moment of growth, because I was okay with how my relationship is with my brothers, but not maybe knowing that there is more that could be done. So from having those siblings on the show was really an enlightening moment and very fun, and a session full of laughter and jokes. So that for me was a great show as well. Lastly, I think I've actually covered all 5 episodes that are, you see, this is the thing about JF. You just go on and on and on and on. It's, yeah. In terms of growth on the show, I think as I was speaking about the episodes, I've spoken about how much I've grown and how I've grown on the show. But also, I'm learning how to interact with people outside and to think broader, to not only accept that this is what I believe in, this is how I think, and it's okay. There's a whole world out there. There's so many people with a different way of thinking that I could learn from, that I've learned from. And I think that this opportunity to host Relationship Thursday on JF is going to seriously help me grow in so many ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and because we've got so much planned for you, so you guys need to stick with us. You need to stick with this show. I'm looking forward to the growth, meeting new people, different people from different, places and positions in the country, and I can only imagine what is in store. So that's it, JF family. We hope that we're going to have more views from you guys. We hope that you're going to invite your friends to like our page, to subscribe on our YouTube channel. You're going to share our episodes with your family, your friends, and we grow this JF family into a much bigger family, because we have got so much in store for you. And actually, we would like to hear from you guys. We would like for you guys to have a conversation with us, boggle our minds, like challenge us, give us a challenge and tell us what you think. And it's not wrong to tell us how we can grow, actually. So do like our pages, do share, do subscribe, follow, watch, and let's be a happy family. And as I always say, stay safe, stay blessed. JF family. Add more flavor.